Hello, hello, hello. Good morning to you. Sharquado here coming with some new servants. This is the LB 6.5 Part 2 banner. We have 3 new ones coming your way. In this video, we're talking about Zhang Jiao. I apologize up front. I'm going to say his name wrong. I'm sorry. I know I just butchered it. Let's take a look at what he brings to the table. So this is Zhang Jiao, looking pretty Zhang dripped out in his first ascension here. Double quick, double arts deck. Honestly, like pretty decent hit counts. His star weight being a caster is going to be on the lower side. That's no big deal. We know that. We'll talk about his bond CE, but I want to make sure we do talk about it's very important for him. Very important for him. Down here on his kit, we have this first skill. Honestly, like it's going to seem pretty straightforward, the first 2 skills. Skill 1, 7 turn to 5 turn cooldown. It's a 20% quick up and 20% arts up on the party. 3 turns. That's it. 10 to 20% quick up, arts up. This is a 3-star, so we need to keep that in mind, obviously. 2 turns of downtime. All right, that's not bad. On the second skill, it's star weight up for 1 party member. However, it is a weird 100 to 200%. Again, a 5-turn cooldown at level 10. It's kind of counterbalanced by the fact that it has a 50 to 100% crit damage up buff on it as well. That is also 1 turn. So it's a little bit on the weaker side as far as Star Gather goes. It's going to be fine for a lot of your higher, archer, even of course Rider servants with Star Gather. And then the crit damage, I mean, that's just fantastic. It's really good. Not to be outdone though on this skill is also debuff cleanse. So 5-turn cooldown, a debuff cleanse, star weight up, although small. And a 50 to 100% crit damage up. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. It is not his calling card, though. Over here on the 3rd skill, 6-turn cooldown at level 10, 30 to 50% battery, and here's where we're excited. An 80% chance to apply each of these buffs. Forest field, shore field, the sunlight field, and a burning field. These are treated independently. So if you've ever used Space Ishtar's skill, where you'll see like each of the card color buffs pop up, and if it misses, then it misses, but it doesn't affect the other ones, right? That's how this works. If he misses forest, it doesn't matter. It's okay. You can still get shore, you can still get sunlight, you can still get burning. This is an 80% chance, right? If you are going to build a comp, let's say around, I don't know, a very specific field type, and you want to guarantee that field type, wouldn't it be nice if you could do that? If you could make sure that this skill is always going to hit. That's why I mentioned his bond CE. So his bond CE here, it's extremely straightforward. Again, this is his niche. 20% buff chance up. All right, well, 80 plus 20. Not to mention 80 or 10% NP damage up for the party, including reserve, when he is on the field, right? Over on his NP, it is AoE. First, he gives an NP damage up for 1 turn. He then applies, if he's on a specific kind of field, quick down, arts down, and buster resist down, right? So quick resist down, arts resist down, buster resist down, depending on the following field types: field of forest, shore, or sunlight. Additionally, he applies star drop rate, so critical rate down, on a burning field. And that's all for 3 turns. So if you can guarantee that all of these fields are in play, which is a thing, thanks to his bond CE, right? Then the enemy has quick resist down, arts resist down, buster resist down, and then critical rate down. All right, that's decent utility, honestly. I mean, for a 3-star, it is extremely niche, but we don't have that in this game. Someone who is capable of guaranteeing the field types and taking advantage of that from a support perspective. Not to be outdone, he also does 600 to 1,000% AoE damage. From what I can see, he is not going to be a quick looper. He is a quick caster. That's cool. He's a silver quick caster. AoE, awesome. We love breaking the mold on new types of servants and new rarities, right? But from what I can see, 0.61% NP on 5 hits. It's not going to be there. It's not going to be there, looping wise, right? That's totally fine though. Again, he's actually really straightforward. Zhang Jiao wants to do one thing and one thing only. He is capable of doing other things, but he primarily does one thing and one thing only, which is change the field to one of these types, and he can guarantee that with his Bond CE. I would not be surprised if you see a lot of content creators backlining him for upcoming lotteries, just to make sure they get that Bond CE or even before then, because it does have a lot of uses as far as certain comps, certain builds, guaranteeing certain play testing and stuff like that, right? Outside of that, this skill is attractive. Star weight up is very low at 100 to 200%, so you're probably going to want to apply it to somebody who is going to have their fair share of star gather anyway. Not a caster, not a berserker. This is don't use this on a berserker. But if you can do that on someone like an archer, a foreigner, a rider, this is a very good crit buff. It's a single turn, but it's a very good crit buff. Not to mention the fact that because his AoE NP is quick, you're probably going to pull in some stars. So because of that, you've got decent star gen on the NP. Feeding into this, you're going to guide them. I would say it's more of a guide and less of a, straight up application of the stars due to that kind of star weight, right? And then whoever is going to hit after him is going to crit pretty hard, right? This is a true silver skill, right? 10 to 20% on the quick up and the arts up. That's fine, right? So over here on the passives, it's pretty straightforward. Once again, he does have territory creation, auto construction, pretty standard for caster. They are both rank B. His traits are also extremely straightforward. Nothing is really standing out here. From a material perspective, you will notice something very apparent about him, and that is chains. He needs 20 chains just to get to his 3rd ascension. He then needs 30 chains to get to skill level 6. Not to be outdone, to go from skill level 8 to 9, he needs 48 of this new 6.5 material. That's a lot of materials, I'm not gonna lie. The reason that matters is because typically speaking, when we talk about which skill to level in what order, we generally start with the battery, right? This is no exception here. However, the scaling on this critical buff is very good. It's very good. 50 to 100%, that's phenomenal scaling. So it is gonna be worth it for some players, especially if you're on the newer side, to kind of invest as much as they can. If you're less than a year into the game, you probably don't have a deep stable of AoE casters. He's not going to go out and loop against assassins for sure, but he does have a lane, create a bunch of stars, guarantee a field type with his Bond CE, or 80% chains of it without it, and then have someone crit really hard after he does those things, right? So because of that, this is a little bit of a big pill to swallow. I am not going to say that it's not worth it. We're probably going to have some way to farm this in an event within the next 6 months, I would presume, right? So the materials can be steep. Skill order is going to be 3, 2, 1 for sure. This is a nice battery that you'll be able to NP to get those stars going. Obviously, this is going to be attractive too for the field type. We talked about the crit scaling. This is okay. It's okay. Anytime you're spending this amount of materials, though, to move up a single % on a skill, it does not feel good. It doesn't feel good. So totally understandable if the skill order is 3, 2, and then shrug. It's just kind of goes with the territory. This is a pretty steep requirement, right? Outside of that, this again is a very straightforward servant. You'll notice that his HP to attack ratio skews heavily towards HP. That's not really that uncommon, as we know, for casters. But I love that he does bring something to the game that we don't currently have, which is this fantastic 3rd skill here. You can now guarantee yourself forests or shore or sunlight or burning fields. And there are several servants out there who would absolutely love to be able to have this guy on their team. Taiga comes to mind. I believe Pyson, so Summer Yume Ren, would also very much love to have these kinds of buffs. Lots of other ones, but those are just some of the more accessible ones right off the top of my head. He is a general pool servant. That's perhaps my second favorite thing about him. You are going to be able to just kind of naturally get copies of him as you play the game. It's why I mentioned newer players earlier. Although his material for going from 8 to 9 is locked behind 6.5 right here. I think we'll have a decent chance to get this at some point in the future. And if we don't, he's still worth it for newer players to take a crack at and make use of. Star Gen, he does provide some party utility on his first skill, not to mention the field buffs. So an interesting servant. I'm really glad that this is in the game. It's not like something that we're going to throw a party about, right? He's not game changing or anything, but it's fun. It's an interesting new niche. There you have it. Zhang Jiao, 3-star AoE, quick caster. Not great, not bad. He is there to do a job, and that's going to be pretty straightforward. Turn 1, pop his first skill, pop his third skill, NP with him, create as many stars as you can. Turn 2, use his second skill to buff someone's crits. Make sure the stars can go towards them a little bit more. They'll hit harder due to that 50 to 100% crit buff. And then turn 3, go back to the gap and get a new dripped out suit, apparently. I don't know, dude. But that is Zhang Jiao. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the other videos or over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Sharquado. You can also check us out on Twitter, twitter.com/Sharquado. Love doing these videos, and especially when it comes to someone who brings something new to the table like he does. So it's a treat. Good luck on your gacha rolls trying to get him. And remember that bond CE. If you're looking for somebody to backline on a lottery, this guy's probably a pretty good candidate for the next little while. So thanks again. Take care.